Hi, boys and girls. I am going to read you a story today. It's a fiction story. We've been talking a lot about fiction and nonfiction. So, this is a fiction story, which means it's made up from the author's imagination. What you're going to notice about this story, though, is even though it's a pretend made up story, there are real pictures and not drawings or illustrations in the story. When we're done reading the story, I'm going to ask you to do an activity, but while we're reading, be thinking about the story elements we've talked about, okay? Think about the characters in the story, the setting, think about the major events, right? The beginning, the middle, and the end. Think about what the problem is in the story and then what the solution is, and we'll talk about those at the end. So, the story I'm going to read you today is called The Secret Life of Squirrels, a Love Story by Nancy Rose. I can hear squirrels chattering outside my window right now. Most squirrels spend their days scrambling up trees and searching for nuts. Not Mr. Peanuts. He is a rather unusual squirrel. Valentine's Day is coming soon. Mr. Peanuts enjoys decorating for the holiday. Nice job, Mr. Peanuts. But Valentine's Day can also be lonely, and Mr. Peanuts wishes he could meet another unusual squirrel to celebrate with. Mr. Peanuts tries to distract himself by working in his shed, but he can only think about how he would love to have someone to build something for. Shopping for food would be more fun if he were cooking dinner for a friend. Mr. Peanuts goes to the park, but he doesn't have a friend to play with. Mr. Peanuts is sad. Being the only squirrel like him can be hard sometimes. Please don't cry, Mr. Peanuts. Poor Mr. Peanuts. On the way home, Mr. Peanuts stops at the neighborhood wishing well. Usually, Mr. Peanuts wishes for more acorns, but today he wants to wish for someone special. Whenever Mr. Peanuts is feeling especially lonely, he goes to the bookstore. That always cheers him up. Today he sees another squirrel reading his favorite book. My name is Rosie, she says. Do you love books too? Do you have a prediction right now about what's going to happen next? After they leave the bookstore, Mr. Peanuts and Rosie begin chattering about books and sunflower seeds. Finally, Mr. Peanuts has a special squirrel friend. Mr. Peanuts and Rosie go to the park to play hopscotch with their peanuts. It's easy to hop when you have 4 legs. No, Rosie, that nut is for playing, not eating. Silly Rosie. Squirrels are used to climbing trees, so climbing a swing set is easy. Mr. Peanuts decides to show Rosie his favorite game, jumping from trees. Look at Mr. Peanuts go! As the sun goes down, Mr. Peanuts realizes he's absolutely nuts about Rosie. The two squirrels come across another wishing well. Mr. Peanuts isn't sure what to wish for this time. Now that he's met Rosie, he has someone special. Then he gets an idea. That sign says, wishes 5 cents, kisses 10 cents. Rosie, asks Mr. Peanuts, will you be my Valentine? Of course I will, chirps Rosie. I'm nuts about you. They celebrate with a romantic candlelit dinner. Being in love makes this the best Valentine's Day ever. The Secret Life of Squirrels, a love story. So, characters, Rosie, Mr. Peanuts, right? The setting was in a lot of different places, as a matter of fact. Mr. Peanuts was at his house, he was decorating and building and shopping, he was at the park, he was at the bookstore. So the setting was in a lot of different places. At the beginning, Mr. Peanuts really wanted a friend and he was doing all these things and he was feeling a little sad. In the middle, he went to the bookstore and met Rosie. And at the end, they became friends and they even became Valentines, right? And then the problem was that Mr. Peanuts was sad because he didn't have a friend. And the solution was that he found Rosie and they became friends. I am wondering if you can use your iPad and maybe some stuffed animals, maybe even little rocks that you paint faces on. I'm wondering if you could tell a story by taking some real life pictures and using your microphone to narrate it. Could you take maybe at least 3 pictures of, I don't know. I'm so curious to see what's going to come out of your imagination. What's your story going to be about? Will it be with your dolls? Maybe it will even be with your pets. Maybe it will be with your family members. What kind of a story are you going to tell? Where will it be taking place? What's the problem in your story going to be? This is going to be a little bit of a challenge, but I'm so interested to see if you can take pictures to make a story, kind of like this author, Nancy Rose, did. She took pictures and then she gave each picture some words to tell a story. You could type your words using the text tool, or you could use your microphone to say the story, which I think would probably be a better idea for now. So good luck. We'll see how this goes, authors. I can't wait to see what you come up with.